Do you know what? It was years ago. I was actually trying to get into MI5. I wanted to be a jockey.
Could you imagine Rocco? All right, we're not in like...
Yeah. Oh, that was my dream job.
Really?
And I was like, mate, I am going to be a jockey. This is my dream. And I've never been on a horse in my life.
Or used to be like, I'm doing a nervous poo and I do not care.
Oh my God.
I'm going straight away and I do not care, literally. I'm sure, listen, I know she's laughing and Alex is giving me a funny look right now, but I'm sure some people can relate to me. Please say you do.
Do you know what? If it wasn't for aesthetics, I'll probably be like a professional cowboy. Hi guys, so we're back at it again. That's episode 2. So what we're gonna do today, we're just gonna follow up from last time. So last time me and Michela discussed your journey in comparison to my journey. And obviously, as you could tell, it was quite different. As Michela has done her level 2s, level 3s, and she's done massages and pedicures and manicures. I never did that. And I went straight into diploma in aesthetics and then follow up with mostly injectables. And even in the clinic nowadays and what you teach and what I teach, there's a major difference, as you would mostly do like laser, for example, or level 5 diploma, which is like your foundation level.
Basic.
And it's not that injectable based, while I would mostly be focusing on teaching injectables like fat dissolving or Botox, such and such. So I think it would be quite good for us to kind of explain why, because my passion is injectables, I'm not going to lie, but for you it's never been like it's just not you. I don't know.
No, it's not. But then also as well, I feel like 15 years ago in the industry anyway, it was beauty. It was kind of like there wasn't any like pathway where now you can jump straight onto the level 5 and then from there go through the aesthetic journey.
Yeah.
When I first started, it was literally like, no, everyone spoke about the levels 2s, the level 3s, the level 4s, and it was literally beauty. That's all it was.
The thing is, they still kind of do. I sometimes get students that they do level 5, and obviously you don't have any prerequisites for that. You're just a complete beginner. But they sometimes say, "Oh, my council told me I need my level 2s and level 3s." I'm like, why even going to the council? They don't deal with level 5 and aesthetics. But even sometimes they'll come to me and say, "Oh, I'm looking for a job or whatever," and they say, "Oh, I need my level 2s, level 3s, 4, and then 5." And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but that was like ages ago, where you had to get that progression of levels. While now it's like, even sometimes when you get students and they say, "Oh, I can do level 5. What about level 1? I'm like, there's no such thing as level 1 to start off with. And level 2s and 3s, you just forget about it. Why? So my question would always be, do you want to do massages? She's like, nope. I'm like, well, don't then. And a lot of employers do actually look for that.
Yeah.
And doing beauty therapy for about a year to do, I don't know, microneedling. What's the point?
Yeah.
But then employers are not aware of that, and
No.
then neither are students.
I think back then as well, it was that they were like the prerequisites. That's literally
Back then,
what
yeah.
you needed to do back
But
then. Because I feel
no.
like the industry has changed now. So there's so many different pathways and, excuse me. And even I remembered when I was teaching the level 3s, and then I used to say to my students, listen, you better count yourself lucky, because all my other students had to do literally the level 3s, the level 2s first before they could do this, whereas you girls have been able to go straight in to doing the diploma in aesthetics. So, yeah.
Right, never mind that, but the main thing I want to know is, why do you not want to do injectables? Because you keep on saying, oh, that's what it was like 15 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not what it is currently.
Scared.
Of what?
Just scared of things that could go wrong. And also, I feel like it took me a while anyway to do even like a microneedling mesotherapy, and now it's kind of like, now I would never look back. Whereas, yeah, other in types of, I don't know, I just get scared. Again, it's the whole lacking of the confidence that we spoke about in last week's episode, where it's just kind of like lacking in the confidence. And also, I feel like if you're going to teach or do those type of treatments, you need to be passionate about it. You need to kind of be, because it makes a huge difference
100%.
if you're with someone that is so confident in it and kind of has had the treatments done themselves, than someone that kind of isn't. You can tell by their mannerism, the way that they present themselves, even how they
It's
speak.
like me doing laser.
Yeah, like,
Hi, it's been a lovely day.
Hi,
I love this.
I'm scared. I don't want to
Do you know what,
zap
yesterday
someone
I had to
again.
do Alicia's laser, and she was getting like a few bits done. It was like I was half an hour in the room, and do you know when you do one side and then I have to move the whole machine? No, like halfway I'm just like, can I just do like one armpit? Is that okay with you? I don't know how you do it. I was like, no, I don't want to touch this.
No, I do remember that there used to be some times where I couldn't be bothered to maneuver the machine round, and I just used to literally break my back.
No, that's even worse, because I break my back as it is. If I move the machine, imagine if I'm not moving it, you're just like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
No.
No, but I think that's it for me. Is I think it's about maybe, I think I would be passionate about it maybe if I did a bit more of it, maybe if I just got pushed into doing it or so forth. But I feel like just stick to my expertise, stick with what I feel like I'm good at, and just staying there.
But the thing is, yeah, like I get it. You haven't tried it, so you think, oh, something could go wrong. There's complications, blah blah blah. But the thing is, you felt the same way when it comes to microneedling and mesotherapy. You were pushed into it, you did it, now you love it. So why not apply the same principle to, I don't know, fat dissolve, PRP, skin boosters? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I probably could.
So yes, I know you could. Yes, I know that. That's literally my point.
But for me,
the main question is why not?
Because I always feel like everyone else is better at it than I am, so I'd rather just not.
How do you know unless you've tried it?
She's got you there.
All right, Alex, don't get involved as well, please. You're supposed to be helping the situation, not making it worse.
Look at the clock. You made me wake up early. No.
Yeah.
Questions are going at you.
No,
Fireball.
I feel like maybe if I did push myself into doing it, maybe if I was alongside you maybe a bit more, because again, I feel like I could say the same thing with you, is I feel like there's certain things like when it comes to certain injectables where you're just like, oh no, I can't teach that, no, I'm not good at that, and I'm just like, you joking me? Like you just come off so natural. You know I was going to swear there, luckily I didn't. You know your stuff. You know your stuff. You know what you're talking about. People love you. People literally just draw themselves to you. So I could say the same thing to you.
No, treatment-wise is different. Doing a treatment is one thing. Teaching it is completely different.
Yeah, but I feel like it's always easy for us to say from the outside looking in, but I feel like when you're actually in that position yourself, it's kind of like you feel like there's no way out. You feel like, oh no, I don't want to do it, or I get nervous, and then after getting nervous, I end up making myself feel sick, or I might not making myself like want to do nervous poo.
That's you. That's you. That's not me. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, but you just get on with it. That's what I'm trying to say. You just don't have time to like. No, honestly, I used to make myself sick, or used to be like, I'm doing a nervous poo, and I do not care.
Oh my God.
I'm going straight away, and I do not care, literally. I'm sure, listen, I know she's laughing, and Alex is giving me a funny look right now, but I'm sure some people can relate to me. Please say you do. So at least I don't like immediate,
Literally,
please.
no one.
But yeah, I feel like with you, though, I feel like it's different. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've got an answer to it, like I've just said, but then I feel like I don't. I kind of feel like I'm very good at just making excuses.
Because that's what I'm trying to understand, because Daksha is the one that pushes both of us in a different way. But if she pushes me, and says, "Oh, you've never done PRP? Do it. Like no warning, nothing. Go do it." I'm like, "Oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Like this looks complicated. I'll go in and I'll do it. Like no stress.
Yeah.
I'll just do my best." But with you,
I have a panic attack.
straight in the toilet for a nervous poo. You know what I mean? Right, scene 5.
Yeah, I've seen a bit.
Michela, go and do PRP. I'm actually a little bit sick today.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too well. You know, the sun's really just got to me at the moment.
Winter.
Do you know, can you just give me some water? I feel like I'm going to pass out.
But that's the thing. Why? Because she pushes us both in the same way.
I know, but I feel like with me, she has to be a bit careful and that's why she does it very differently to you. Because if she did it the same way as you did, in a way, I probably would kind of be like, well, I've got no choice now. I have to do it. Kind of, I'll have no choice but to do it. Maybe I might find that I might work a little bit better under pressure. But sometimes I need to take time to register it first before I can go out. Because I feel like you could just do it with us.
Yeah,
for me, I feel like I need to like sit there, psych myself up a little bit, be my own like wing woman, say
Do you know what? I've heard people say when they get like their blood taken or whatever, they need to like know, okay, in 2 days' time, I'm going to get my blood taken. Like they have to prepare.
Now, see, I'm
that.
okay with that, but yes,
Well, I
that
think
is the
that's
exact
like
same.
the principle.
But like, yeah, to do like clinic or to even teach it and stuff, especially like clinic type of thing, is kind of like, I'm like, yeah. Especially if you like PRP, how much of an idiot would you look like if you're sitting there trying to take someone's blood and you can't take it, and you've like gone in there like a couple of times and not been able to, even though
it happens to literally everyone.
But to be fair, I was proud of myself because that time Dasha did throw me straight, and she's like, "Oh well, there you go. There's a space available on the PRP course. Go on it." And I was like, "Yeah, no, okay."
I'm sick.
And I did it, and I was very proud of myself. Actually, I managed to take everyone's blood that day. Treatment-wise, I feel like I'm okay with. I was fine, you know, mixing because I'm used to doing that anyway. And then also like the injection side of things, I feel like I'm fine. I've got quite a steady hand. But I feel like sometimes it's just once I'm doing it, I'm fine. But it's the whole prep talk beforehand of actually going into it, like trying to psych myself up, like, girl, you got this. Like, trust me, you've got this. Like, the client's going to love you. You're going to feel fantastic. You know, I've got to...
No, yeah, I kind of get it. Because I get thrown in a lot of things, like, last minute. And like, oh, this came up. 5 minutes, go and do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I've never done that before. But okay, yeah, fine. Like, I'll do whatever I can do.
Yeah.
But I just kind of like, I need to prep myself. So like, get a coffee, get a 5 minute, just go outside, just drink my coffee and think like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, plan it out.
Yeah.
But it's not like making myself sick.
No, it's like for me, I have to plan for a whole week or even a month.
Plan what? You can't plan anything because you don't know how it's gonna go.
I know, but at least I can kind of like psych myself up. I can like meditate as well a couple of days beforehand to just get myself in there. I don't know. I just feel like it helps me. And then even on the day, I probably still come in like frantic anyway. Like, oh my God.
Like all pale and green. Like.
Yeah, oh my gosh, literally we went out, was walking out, she's like, Kella, you look green. And I was like...
You did though.
Okay, thanks. Right now, I am going to turn into Hulk.
I was concerned, it's not like offensive. It was just like, you did look a bit green.
Green?
Yeah, it was like, you know... with
what,
like,
Shrek, like Hulk?
Let's go with Hulk.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't you dare go with Shrek. I'm an orchid.
Do you know, sometimes, especially in like wintertime, when you're so pale and the sun kind of reflects and you just look like a pale kind of green color.
But I feel like as well, that day I didn't have any makeup on either, so I didn't really help myself out, to be honest with you. I just literally looked like a hot mess.
I was like, are you okay? You look a bit green to me. That's all that was.
I wouldn't mind if you said like a yellow tone, green.
Well, it wasn't yellow, it was green. Like, what do you want me to say?
I don't know, maybe you were in meditation looking at auras and maybe my aura was green. I don't know, I definitely weren't green. Even everyone else was like, what are you talking about?
Well, let's leave it at that. Now we're friends.
I feel like that's quite a good question because I feel like for me, for everyone else, I'm really good at motivating people. I'm really good at like, you got this. Like, I'm here. I'm with you every step of the way. You are not leaving this goddamn course until you've passed everything and until you're the best person that you can be.
Have you like ever got that though? Like someone saying, "Oh, I can't do it."
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of students, but again, you see I see a lot of me in them sometimes because again, it's the lack of the confidence.
I think for
Completely
you it's
new to it.
different because you deal with like beginner. So it's like
Yes.
they've never touched anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't really get that.
No, because I feel
Because
like
they've been through you first. Yeah.
even though I think there's always that element of when it comes to needles, you either get people that are literally like petrified that I can't do it. I remember I had one student, bless her, literally. I've had people say to me, I'm sure you've had it as well, I've got a phobia of needles, and you're kind of like, yeah, okay, yeah. I've heard a student say this before, yeah, okay, you'll be fine. To the point where she literally had to leave the client, go into the bathroom, and I was like, where's she gone? I was like, hello, you okay? I open up the door. She's literally lying on the floor, like, because of the cold. She's like, I'm really sorry. I said to her, are you okay? Like, oh my God, I thought I was going to have to start doing first aid. And she's like, no. She goes, I said, like, honestly, like, I'm not joking. Like, when I say I've got a phobia, like, I have a fear and a phobia.
Was she doing the treatment or getting it done?
No, she was doing the treatment on a client. The client was on the beds.
What?
So
Were you doing meso?
Microneedling.
What?
Yeah, microneedling.
You can't see the needle.
Yeah, but I think it was like the blood as well. It was just like the combination of like everything. And I think for her is where she was so scared. It didn't matter. It didn't matter who said what. I could have said she was the best one out of everyone, but it still wouldn't have mattered because she was kind of like, no, I can't do this. And I remember she went out and I said to her, listen, you're going to go back in there again with the client. You're going to finish off the treatment. She literally had to leave again. So I was like, do you know what? I was like, you are not leaving. You've paid money. I was like, you are going to walk out like these other girls with a certificate and you're going to be goddamn proud of yourself. And what did she do? The second client came in. She did it. Perfect. Gave her another client. Absolutely perfect. And she was like, thank you. So she called up her partner and was like crying down the phone. She's like, I feel so silly. Don't feel silly. Why should you feel silly? Everyone has it. Everyone's got a phobia of a fear of something. It's just yours happens to be a major part of the course that we're teaching.
Pretty much.
Yeah, literally. So.
But that's actually crazy that she got over it.
Yeah, literally. It was unbelievable to watch. But again, I think it's the people that you have behind you, like even the actual class, they were like, you've got this. Like having the encouragement, 100%. The motivation from everyone else and being like, listen, you are not going until, so if I have to stay here till 10 o'clock at night time or even for 24 hours, I will do it. I do not care. And she did it.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I think ever since I've been teaching, I've only had something similar happened to me once, but the thing is with that specific student, she wasn't afraid of needles or anything like that, but she had very shaky hands to the point where it was because she was a bit nervous, but that was like being nervous and anxious kind of triggered it. Yeah. But it was so bad that she was not steady at all, and it was maybe could have been like fat dissolving or something like that. And the thing is, I had her in level 5 as well, so I was the one teaching her meso, and even then she was a bit shaky. But it's not like it's not an issue health and safety wise because like the needle is tiny. So even if you shake a bit, like it's fine. Yeah. But then she came to do the fat dissolve with me, and obviously the needle is like that, and. She was a bit anxious, and her anxiety was triggered by the fact that she's thinking, oh, I'm gonna shake. And she's thinking that, she's like, I hope I don't. But the more she's thinking that, the more anxious she's getting, the more she starts shaking. So, we started doing the treatment, and I was with her like the full day. And the thing is, with phobias and someone that is, let's say, a bit anxious and nervous,
different
you talk to them. You give them that pep talk. You're like, okay, you've got this. You really motivate them. You're like, I'll hold your hand. I'm here for you. You've got it. You're going to walk out the door and you're going to be perfect. And then they get it. You're like, oh, thank you so much. But my issue with that student was I couldn't do that.
Yeah, it's very...
Because
yeah.
I don't know if it was a condition or something, but she did say when she's at rest even, she can shake a little bit. So she did have that. But when she got a bit anxious, it was severe. So it wasn't anything that she could control. Because, you know, sometimes they start shaking.
Which is a normal thing.
Yeah, I'll hold your hand for like 5 minutes.
And then they get it.
And they're like, oh, thanks, that's actually quite easy. And I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. But for her, it wasn't like that. Like, I was holding her hand, like, at all times. And it was quite hard because of the fact that she couldn't control it and because I couldn't help her any more than that. And even if I was motivating her, she was like, yeah, I understand. And she was really passionate. She really wanted to do it. But she says, I can't control it. And sometimes, you know, even if it's with a person that I know and I'm doing the treatment, I'm still shaking. So that was probably the only time that happened to me. And I think I just kept on bringing her back and back up to the point where she was not as anxious. And I felt like, okay, this is safe. Because at the end of the course, and it's really demotivating, but I can't, I have to hold your hand. If I can't let go of your hand, I'm sorry, it's not safe.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I'm really sorry, but you have to come back. And she was like, no, I want to give up. So that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to motivate you and I'll show you that you are actually good, but you just need that extra, and it's not even practice.
No,
because if you had looked at her, the way she was doing it, her knowledge, her technique, she's extremely gentle.
Yeah.
But if I'm holding her, if I let go, and when I let go, she's like, I better not shake, and then she starts shaking.
I think it's probably sometimes as well, like in the mind slightly as well. It's kind of like a sort of where you're kind of like, oh no, she's let go now. So, and then it's just all of a sudden, it's like your body takes over you, and like you're trying so hard not to, and you're trying so hard to concentrate. But again, for us, it's like it's health and safety is a major, and it's kind of like, it is like you said, demotivating, be able to be like, you've got to come back again. But it's kind of like, well, you can't really,
No, to be fair, I was really, really impressed by her, because anyone that would shake as much, and it was quite severe, I'm not gonna lie. I can't imagine them like coming back. I would just be like, nah, I'm just gonna do something else. Yeah. But she was so at it. She was so passionate about it. She was like, I want to do this. So she kept on coming back and coming back, up to the point where she was like, yeah, I'm confident. Yeah. But it was pretty hard to manage. But I feel like with your level 5s, that's where you mostly get the shaky ones. Yeah.
But I do find as well, though, in the level 5s anyway, I always say to like my girls and like the students and stuff that I teach, that when it comes to the needle side of things, you're going to enjoy it so much more. And they're kind of like, yeah, I don't know, I kind of really enjoyed the Hydraderm. And I was like, yeah, you wait till next week. And then as soon as they've got, sometimes the derma pen, I'm trying to take out their hand. I'm like, okay, you can stop now. Like, you've done it. Don't overdo it now. And
but
they're like,
it's so fun.
Yeah, I know. They're like, oh my God, but I love it. Look, it's so even. I'm like, yeah, it's fantastic, but just let's not overdo it now, please, okay? To the point where we end up causing scarring and hyperpigmentation. Thank you very much.
But you seem like the type of teacher when you'd be like, okay, I'm going to take you outside and I'm going to talk to you like privately and I'm going to give you like a whole therapy session and like really motivate you.
Yeah, because I feel like as well it depends, I think, as well on the actual student itself, because I feel like some students they like the motivation from everyone else, but sometimes it's kind of like you've got to see it from their point of view. Not everyone is going to be the exact same student-wise that are coming in. Yeah. So how you speak to one may be completely different. One, you may be more like a friend. The other one, you may be more like, no, you know, like information is what they need. Like diagrams is what they need. They need to see pictures. They need to see like videos. They need to be able to see demo videos beforehand. There's some people that just pick it up and like you look at them, even the clients are going, oh, so how long have you been doing it for? I just started last week. Like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. And you've booked on for injectables down. I was like, you're going to have no issues at all.
But no, I do understand what you're saying. Sometimes you get different types of students. But yeah, you would always manage them in a very different way. I feel like the very anxious, nervous, timid ones, they do need that pep talk.
Yeah, like
because they're just
one-on-one.
like, oh, I'm not competent, or I physically can't do it. I'm not gonna be good enough. So they
Yeah.
need someone to tell them you're good enough.
Yeah.
But then you get the drama ones. It's like, I can't do it. I'm like, cotton pad, syringe, prep your syringe, inject.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's just that thin line of, do you need that pep talk? Are you just wasting my time?
yeah, yeah,
But I feel like the dramas you mostly get with like the more injectables. I feel like level 5, it's more of a pep talk because it's, you know, nothing else. So I need to motivate you to say, oh, it's a tiny needle. That's it.
yeah.
But
Don't get me
sometimes
wrong.
people just need that.
Yeah, obviously, don't get me wrong. Even when they do go into like PRP and stuff like that, the injections will be completely different.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, like the way that they inject, the angles that they're doing it, and so forth. But still, at least if we can see you've kind of got that steady hand, you've kind of got that. You can just tell, can't you, just by looking at someone, you can go, yeah, you're going to be great.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to have any issues, you know, kind of feel like you're going to be fantastic with the needle. And even like clients are like, oh, have you put the needle in? I didn't even feel it. It felt so gentle. It felt so like, and then there's some where it's kind of like you need that one-on-one kind of guiding them through and so forth. But I suppose you must see quite a bit as well, because then you go more into the injectable side of things.
Yeah. But I feel like with injectables, it's very easy to tell who's the good one, who's the bad one, because it literally takes, it takes 2 seconds to know, okay, she's fine, I'm gonna leave her do her thing. Even if it's her first client, I'm like, I'm not gonna have to worry about her. She's on it. Like, she's listened to what I was saying.
Yeah.
And she's got a good hand. And
Yeah.
some people just naturally do that.
Yeah.
And I just have to show you once, they've got it, that's it. But then there's the other one that just like can't even open up the syringe, forgets, oh, what cotton pads, where was it? Sometimes it's the student self that you have to really manage in a way that it's always about the ones that need a little bit more, not help, but more knowledge, better understanding.
Yeah.
So it's all different types of learning. But I feel like for injectables, it's quite quick because it's just 2 seconds. Because from your first injection point, I'll be like, yeah, she's good. Or like, okay, let me hold your hand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like for level 5 it's a little bit different because a facial would be completely different to meso. But then again, I have noticed if there's someone, you know, even with the hydrofacial, they've got that touch. So I know, even if you're doing meso, you're gonna be gentle.
Yeah.
But then you've got some, they're just like, bang, bang, slap it off. All right, off you go, perfect massage for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you're gonna be hard work. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to hold your hand here.
Or it's kind of like you've got the therapist that's very good, like holistic massage, the pampering, the indulgent.
Yes.
And then you've got the other one, like you said, that's literally just like. And I always say to them, love the face, make love to the face, stroke the face.
Sometimes people
Because
can't.
sometimes I'm like, listen, the client's cheeks were here, but now they're up on the forehead because like you've literally just like, I can't make heads and tails now. And then I'm sitting there. I know you can just tell the client already feels like what's going on. It's like,
their eyes are open up like that.
yeah, yeah, and they like to be like help, help, and you're kind of like okay. So then you feel like you've got to be more observant of that student. So you're kind of like with them more like guiding them a little bit more with like the massage routine. But then there's some that you can tell straight away that they may not particularly be great at the Hydraderm facials, but it's because it doesn't interest them. Because either they want to go straight into injectables, that's the whole reasoning why they're...
Yeah, I do agree, but I would always see there's that correlation between even the massage. And you don't have to remember like all the moves. It's just about your contact with the client.
Yeah.
So I know that your hand would be good even when it's injectables.
Yeah.
But people that are rough-handed, it shows on facials and injectables as well.
Oh,
and that's
especially
something that
injectables.
you can't change. they're just like that. And that's one thing I find with teaching is, because obviously as a teacher, you would always have that, let's say, protocol that you follow by, and this is how I would do the treatment, and this is the way I see it being done, let's say, perfectly.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
But I've got my technique, and every single student
It's got their own.
has got their own. So I think when it comes to teaching, a lot of teachers have that idea in their head as to, I'm gonna get you a student, and I'm gonna make you as good as me, or have my technique. And at the beginning, I did feel like let's say I have to do that, because, okay, this is the treatment, this is how I do it, this is how I teach it. I was gonna ask you something, because we're discussing like students and their journeys and how do we teach them. But again, based on our journeys, like we've both been students. So what was like the hardest thing? You're like, oh my God, like how am I even gonna do this?
What, as in like beauty, or do you mean like when I was
Like
here?
overall, like all of your 15 years, what was the hardest one?
I would probably say, if I'm saying like from then, I would probably say it would definitely have been injectables, like the microneedling, mesotherapy. Even at one point, I think I was even scared of the dermaplaning.
How?
Don't ask. I think I saw a blade and I just thought, you could do serious damage with this on someone's skin. And I kid you not, now, when I look at it, I literally want to kick myself in the face, because I'm like, are you joking? What were you so scared of? What is there to be scared of?
It's just like you're just making stuff up in your head.
But that's what I'm trying to say. I think it's all in my mind. I just keep like saying to myself, like, oh no, you can't do that. No, just let Rocco do it, or let one of the other girls do it, so they'll be better at it. You know, kind of thing. Whereas I feel like that for me, it was always the whole injectables, like massage, giving massage any day. I could do it with my eyes closed, you know?
So anything that there's no damage.
Yes. Practically, yeah.
That is crazy. Do you know what I wanted to ask you? Just because you, like last time you were like, oh, I finished my college, blah, blah, and then I wanted to do something that was easy. So it was never like, I was 5 years of age and I wanted to do a massage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when you were young,
Yeah.
what did you want to be? Or like, imagine yourself being young. Would you ever think, oh, this is me?
No.
Like, I'm going to be a teacher and I'm going to teach aesthetics.
No.
What did you want to be?
When I was younger, I definitely wanted to do sport. I wanted to be a tennis player.
What?
A tennis player.
What?
Literally, tennis player was something
That's
that...
so random.
Because again, you see, sports for me was always like, it was always something I was good at. I always feel like paperwork side of things, like when it comes to like theory side of things, is I don't cope well with it. Again, I think because of like learning difficulties that I had growing up as well, that played a major part of it. So when it
Tennis player it is.
when it came to like exams and stuff like that, I used to hate it. Whereas with sports, I literally always used to love it. And tennis for me was like, it was either tennis or swimming. One of those two, I was like, I always loved. And then growing up, like in my teens, me and my mum used to watch a lot of crime documentaries and stuff.
Oh, I love that.
If I could get into criminology or...
Do you know what? It was years ago. I was actually trying to get into MI5.
Really?
Yeah, but you need to be a UK citizen, so failed. illegal immigrant here. Hi. Sorry, can't get through.
Oh, really? Yeah, see, for me, growing up, I loved, like, me and my mum would literally watch anything to do with crime, drama series,
Oh yeah,
trying to, like, suss out who did what, literally.
I love, like, the guessing game. It was him.
Yeah.
No. That's too obvious.
Literally, I was just like, no, that's surely got to be too obvious. Yeah, but Mum, maybe they're just trying to make us think that it's too obvious, but it is him, or it's her, or it's the person you least expect. And then you're just like, what? And then when they show you it back, you're like, what an idiot. How the hell did I not guess it? So that would, when I was growing up, like in my teens, I would definitely say it was, or do you know what actually, now thinking about it, dancing. I used to do ballet from the age of like, 3 years old.
So you wanted to be a tennis player and a ballerina?
Yeah, so tennis player, it was like tennis or swimming.
Mate, you've come a long way. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, tennis, swimming, crime, anything to do with that. And then, like dance, like some type of like backup dancer or something. I remembered literally me and my best friend always used to make up, used to literally choreograph, like we used to literally choreograph like music videos. So we used to put like music on and so forth, and then just go like, right, we're gonna do a dance now. And then we used to literally make up a dance move. Honestly, it was great. I wondered, if she still probably got videos of it, to be honest with you. But yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's all like sports based and like
kind of like
showing my personality kind of thing.
Yes, yeah. Oh my god, it feels weird actually even thinking about it, because it's kind of like it changed. Or I find that nowadays a lot of people actually don't know what they want to do. A lot of people are kind of like lost. They're kind of like, well, what I felt, it's a lot of pressure actually.
Do you
parents.
know? I feel like people just don't know what to do because there's just too many choices.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, 1, 2, 3. So, I can be a detective, or I can be a ballerina, I can be a tennis player, I can be a teacher, or I could just stay at home.
Yeah.
And some people do that as well. But
what was it for you? What did you want to?
I think quite a few things, but I think my initial one was I wanted to be a jockey.
Could you imagine Rocco? All right, we're not in like.
Yeah. Oh, that was my dream job.
Really?
Yeah, because where I used to live with my parents, there was like it wasn't a farm, but it was like, do you know when they do not the racing, but like the competitions with the obstacles? I don't know what that's called.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm not the best person to know.
I don't know. It was a long time ago. Yeah. But they had like stables with all the horses, but they were like proper breed or whatever. The ones that you do race with.
No, see, horses petrified me, and they still do now. Yeah, I couldn't.
Oh, I love them.
No.
And like on the weekend, me and my parents always used to go there and just like look at the horses, and I was like, mate, I am going to be a jockey. This is my dream. And I've never been on a horse in my life.
But was it just because you just saw it and just thought, this looks quite fun? Or
They're big, majestic creatures. Like, I don't know. They're massive, and I'm just a tiny little me, and I'm like,
wow,
I'm gonna be a jockey. Yeehaw! But yeah, obviously I never realized that dream. And after that, I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
But then I was like, I don't have patience because it was probably because I was like 10 years of age.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm teaching, I don't know, maths or whatever. And it's like all my mates in front of me. And I'm writing on the board and I'm like, 2 + 2 is, and someone says 5. And I'm like, no, it's 4. No, next lesson.
Wow.
Sorry, I got excited.
Yeah, clearly. Jesus, wanted to punch someone in the face.
But that was my early teaching career. Just no patience whatsoever. You get it wrong, you're out. That's it.
So then, was that it then? So it was basically being a jockey or a teacher?
Yeah, and then my last one was being a doctor.
Okay.
But I think, like my last years of secondary school, I was like, I want to do medicine. I want to be a doctor because I've always liked like helping people and anatomy, physiology. I just want to like cut people open. That sounds a bit weird, but you know what I mean? It's just like, it's cool. It's cool.
No, I get what you mean, kind of thing. It's like the crime.
Yeah.
When you see the crime things where they're opening it up and you're looking at like the little like intricate things, you're just like, wow.
Yeah. No. Just more so like helping people, but I don't know. I've always been interested in people overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually thinking about applying for like a medicine kind of course thingy. But then I'm like, it takes 7 years for general medicine, and then you specialize, and then you do whatnot, and very hard to get any type of life.
Okay.
So then I'm like, I don't really want to sacrifice that. So I'm like, okay, instead of cutting people open, I'm just going to do psychology. That's a bit like harmless, but I'm still like exploring people, just not opening them up. So that was fine. But yeah, I wanted to be a jockey, but I've still got time. I do want to get on a horse one day.
To this day, have you still not gone on a horse?
Nope. No.
Well, do you know what? We're going to make Rocco's dreams come true.
Oh, thank you so much.
Her birthday's in November. There we go. We'll get her maybe we'll start with a pony.
Stop. Don't say the date. People are going to come showing up with horses in Revival Academy.
We'll start with a pony first, so you just don't get too intimidated by it. Yeah.
If I get on top of a pony, I'm going to squash it.
No.
I need a proper, massive, majestic horse. That's the only reason why I wanted to be a jockey. Because they're so big.
Sure, we're going to make this happen. On her birthday or just something, we're all going to go on a...
horse racing?
No. I might watch you lot, to be fair, because I don't like horses. They petrify me. I've seen the accidents that they've done. They've kicked people.
Yeah, only if you piss them off.
Yeah, well, sorry, sometimes you don't even do that. You just literally walk out to go stroke them, they're like headbutt you, and you're a little bit like, listen, mate, you need to relax yourself.
Maybe they just don't like you.
Sorry, you didn't have breakfast this morning.
Maybe they just don't like you.
Yeah, well, I don't like them either, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my my first experiences of being a teacher. And that's what I was trying to say to you when I was having my interview with Daksha. And I was like, Daksha, I don't really know if I'll be a good teacher. I have no patience.
Yeah, but when you were talking about teaching...
Imagine I'm in my class and I'm like, okay, people, can you please tell me the skin layers? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, but when you're talking about teaching, are you more teaching as in like back then when you were obviously 10 years old?
Yeah.
More teaching younger kids, do you mean?
Yeah, it was
not
my
so
mates.
much like...
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah, well, actually that's even worse.
No, just like, what happens in Rocco's classes? Like, Jesus.
Yeah, I think maybe I better, sit in on them just to make sure that,
it all
everyone's
goes well.
safe. Sorry, this thing's got a mind of its own, this mic.
But yeah, that was me. But I feel like what I currently do is a little bit of like the teaching side and then a little bit of like the doctor side. Because you're still dealing with anatomy, physiology, like very in depth. So I think that was my main reason for really liking aesthetics, because I've kind of always wanted to do it, but I've just never thought I'll be really good at it. But the jockey part has not been realized as of yet. Maybe in November time.
We'll see. Stay tuned for November.
I'm gonna get my hat like yee-haw, happy
not
birthday.
Everyone that's on a horse is yee-haw with a cowboy
I
hat.
would yee-haw.
You wouldn't. You have a helmet on.
I have been waiting for this 24 years. Would you not yee-haw? Oh yes, you will.
No, but they wouldn't allow you to wear a cowboy hat. You need to wear a proper helmet.
I'll wear a helmet and on top I'll put the cowboy hat.
Actually, do you know what? We're not going to do horse riding because that's all I need then is for Daksha to be like, great, she's injured herself now she can't work, so let's not. You can look at the horses. I'll take you to a range and you can just have a look at the horses in the stable just, and maybe you can like take it for a walk around the stables.
That's what my mom used to do to me.
Well, you can do that then.
That's why I said
the only thing you can do is
dream.
just look at it then, maybe not. Or just get on it, take a picture and then just come back down again.
Might as well just go on Google and find a picture of a horse.
Yeah, but you won't be able to sit on the horse, will you?
As long as you get to be a jockey, that's fine. Then maybe if we can realize my jockey dream, we can realize your tennis player dream.
Honestly, I'm not joking to you. I actually think I probably could have been a professional tennis player. I kid you not.
Why? Why are you laughing? Keep a straight face.
He's not meant to be like, Kella, tennis player, literally, do not be fooled. Do you know what? One
Like,
day we're going
as
to do
much-
activities and watch me thrash all of you.
If I can be a jockey, then you can be a tennis player. How
Exactly.
About that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I will. I don't know why you're telling him laughing. You're sitting there laughing yourself as well. What's wrong with that? A tennis player? Well, you don't think I'm capable of becoming a tennis player?
No, imagine if I just looked at you and said, "Do you know what? If it wasn't for aesthetics, I'll probably be like a professional cowboy."
Sorry, but my one's a little bit better than a cowboy going yee-haw with a cowboy hat on a horse. Mine's actually a tennis player.
It would actually be cowgirl.
Oh yeah, cowgirl, sorry.
Oh.
Yeehaw, cowboy!
I didn't realize you were so into like sports. Nah, to be fair, you're always suggesting like, oh, let's
So competitive, it was
let's
so
let's
bad.
go and run. So I'm like,
Michela, you're like the most competitive person ever.
Yep.
Has that ever come out at work?
What do you mean? No, it hasn't, has it? I'm intrigued now. I don't feel like it has. Has it? Well, clearly. The only time I did see it come out was, I mean, when I first started, when they used to do bonding, like team bonding exercises. So it used to be like couch roll, right? Who can fold the most couch rolls in a certain amount of like time? Which room would you find this? And like would run around, and I used to be like, come on! And then when I used to see the other team coming out, I was like, literally, you best get your backside right up here now. But I don't feel like I've done it now.
you are competitive, but it's very like, you don't show it. Meaning, I wouldn't say, oh, I did more clients than you today. Do you know what I mean? But I know that's what you're thinking.
No, I never think like that.
Well, not specifically clients. But it kind of comes across, but you would never like say it.
Okay.
But I feel like whenever we're like on like meeting outside work, that just comes out.
Yeah, it would do, to be fair. I mean, I don't
Who's
know
gonna
what
get
it
there
is.
first?
Yeah, but do you know what it is anyway? I just feel like I always turn up to places just really early. Like even I remember when I first started here, I literally would turn up like an hour early. I probably still do it now, to be honest with you. It was like, Michela, why are you here so early? I'm like, I'm just here, you know. Hi.
It was literally like my first week working here, and people were talking about whatever, and then Daksha says, "Oh, Rocco, what time are you in tomorrow?" And I was like, "Oh, probably like around 10." And then says, "Oh, what time does Michela come in at?" And I was like, 7:30. And Daksha was like,
Literally everyone knew. Even when I used to go to my secondary school, I literally walking distance 5 minutes. My best friend
just help the teachers
would
open
take
up
her.
the place.
Yeah, literally. My best friend, it used to take her about 20-minute drive maybe. I used to get there before her, and I was waiting for her for like over 30 minutes. And I literally lived 5 minutes down the road. I think it's like anxiety a little bit. It's like, if I turn up somewhere
if I'm
late.
not there like at 7 a.m, I'm gonna make myself sick.
No, I wouldn't.
Show up early for a nervous poo.
This whole podcast is just going to be about that now. That's what everyone's going to know me for. Like, did you go to the toilet today?
ridiculous.
Yes, thank you, I have. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was here 2 hours early in case I needed to.
Literally. But yeah, I can't help it. Yeah, I just think it's just my competitive. I just can't. Yeah, I really can't help it. But I don't
Do you
feel
know
like
what? When it comes to being competitive, I see that with students, not with us.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
I'm like,
sometimes
you're gonna
I'll
be
be
the
like,
best,
I could listen to them talking to each other, and I'm like, how many models did you do? I did 2. And I was like, oh, well, I did 3. I'm like, okay, but she did 2 because she didn't need more. You did 3 because you needed more practice. So why you the one that's like, I did 3? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're just trying to get you two to be on the same level. Yeah, but they're so competitive.
They are. Or they're kind of like, but she's had more people than me. Like, I want another one. And I'm like,
No, we don't.
no, you really don't. No, but I do. I'm like, you really don't. Because if you did, I would have literally grabbed someone from the street at this point, so you could have done them if I think you needed it that like.
But
that
I've even seen them being competitive on like mixing syringes.
You're doing it wrong. Or sometimes I've
No,
got one of the
it's
students
like
that's
I mixed it quicker than you did. And I'm like, hold on, you literally learned this 5 minutes ago. How can you be competitive on, oh, how quickly did you mix that? Or
Yeah.
they would be competing with me. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes like the client is on the bed and I have to like very quickly like mix the syringe.
Yeah.
So I'm like, don't worry about it. I'll bring it to you. I'll mix it. So I just go bang, 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 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like I've done this millions of times, and I give it to them. She's like, that was so quick. I'm like, well, yeah, I've done this before.
Yeah.
But they're like, and then 10 minutes later, she's trying it. She's like, and I'm like, just calm. Like, because I do it doesn't mean that on your first day you have to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I've been practicing this
Or
for a
you've
long
got
time.
some that sometimes I feel like there's some students that want to be the teacher, where they're kind of like, no, she didn't show you that. Where did you? She didn't show you how to do that. No, you do it this way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, actually, you're still telling her wrong. So please don't. I will tell her, thank you, but I like your enthusiasm. I like that you're trying to help out. But when there's too many people,
I really like students that help each other as long as what you're helping with is actually correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I gotta get involved.
Yeah.
Why are you making me do this?
I had one
You should have just stayed in your own station.
I had one student that I was like, she was like, oh no, it's okay, Michela, I can get the syringe ready. Okay, no problem. She's like, yeah, it's a 4mm needle, yeah? Yes, yeah. So luckily I come round to the bed and she's going to go take the lid off the needle, and I'm like, it was a draw out needle that she still had on it.
Finish off, I'll tell you a story after that.
And I was like, I'm like, yeah, 4mm. 4mm? And she's like, oh my God. I was like, could you imagine if you prodded that into someone's...
But this has actually happened to me. But she mixed the syringe, and I'm just coming over and I'm like, okay, so you start injecting, I'm just here observing you. So the client's on the bed and she pops the lid off, and it's a drawing out needle, like it's massive. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, are you ready to start? She's like, yeah. I've got 1 ml HA and then I'm gonna inject it all over. I'm like, okay, go ahead. So she's literally like stretching and she's about to go in. I'm like, are you ready to start? I'm just watching all this. She's like, yeah, so I'm gonna start off from over this area and then I'm gonna move up. I'm like, all right, go ahead. And then she's stretching, but she's not going in, she's just holding. She's like, what way was it? And I'm like, you tell me. She's like, there's something wrong. And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong? But it took like, I was there for like good 5-10 minutes. I was like encouraging her. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Like, I want to see you inject with that. She was like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm like, exactly. But sometimes I don't wind them up, but I do want them to realize the mistake by themselves.
Yeah.
Because it's so fast track, you can go home and get the drawing out needle, but I'm not going to be there to say,
you've done it wrong. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's so true.
And I do feel like sometimes students are like, oh, I feel so nervous, I feel so anxious because you're not there. I'm like, yeah,
but when you do it in the real world, when you're doing your own clients, I'm not going to be there to sit there holding your hand while you're,
But that's why if they do something wrong, I'm just like on top of their head and I'm like, are you sure you're ready? Are you ready? Are you sure? Double check. Yeah, go ahead. But it was a massive needle. And it was her first time injecting. And I'm like, are you sure? You sure about that? You sure about that?
And sometimes you're even looking at it to be like, yes, something is wrong.
No.
What is it? And you're looking down at the needle and they're still like, I don't know, just something feels really strange. I'm just like, oh my God. And then the client's on the bed, bless them, they're probably thinking like, what's going on? Then you're doing like this sign language while this client's on the bed and they're like, oh my God, the needle. Or the other student comes over going, what, the needle? And she's like, oh my God, that's what it is. And I'm just like, yeah, that's what it is.
But no, sometimes it's quite funny. But
Yeah, you can laugh about it now, but at the time you're a bit like, Sometimes you think you're going to get punked. Someone's going to come up with the camera and be like, haha, you've just been punked. I'm just like, yeah, no. And then they're just sitting there, like, kind of just like already, like, stretching.
You see the student, like walking around with the drawing out needle ready to inject. She's like, where are the cameras? Like, is this for real?
Yeah, I'm like, is someone going to come up the stairs now to say, like, something's, you know? Yeah, no, it's...
Oh, God. But no, I feel like for the first time when they're injecting, I kind of, like, let them figure it out by themselves, if it's the first time. Do this to me second time. Oh, I'm ruthless. I'm like, come here. Come over to the side. Are you listening?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What do you have in your hand? I'm like, oh, I've got a needle. I'm like, what needle do you have? What's the gauge? What's the mm? Come on, you've been here all day. You have to know this. If you don't know this, I'm going to make you do the whole portfolio from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 4 mm. Exactly. Go ahead, change it. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes people call me miss.
Yes, sometimes as well. I think it's like a respect thing. They're like, miss, or they put their hand up, and I'm like, we're not in primary school. Like, we're not in like, they're like,
But
miss.
you know the funny bit? Like,
I'm like
80% of the time, people are actually older than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Although the other day, it was this lady. Oh, she's lovely. But I was just teaching her. We were just talking, chatting, and she's like, "Oh, like how old are you?" And I don't usually say my age because I feel like if I say my age, it's like, "Oh, you're just a baby," and I'm like, "You sure about that? You sure about that?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh, have a guess," and it's always like late 20s, early 30s. I'm like, oh. Right, Daksha, can you do my Botox, please?
Whereas I get the total opposite. They just think I've just come out of the womb. Like, they're like, how old are you? You've been here for what, 15, 16 years? Are you sure? I'm like, I think so.
Sure about that?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure, yeah. Or they're a little bit like guessing. And I love it when people guess because they either get it like, there's only been a small amount that have got it spot on.
Yeah.
Because they've either got daughters and they're kind of like, well, you seem similar, like my daughter's age. Or they're like, I'll probably say about 24. And I'm like, do you know what?
I'll take that any day.
I will take that. And can I get it on camera? Because the amount of times they get it incorrect, or you get the odd ones where I think they're so used to seeing Daksha on the Instagram where they're kind of like assuming that Daksha's going to be teaching them. And then after when they come in, they're like, or Daksha's taught them the first week and then I've had to take over the second week. And I'm just like, hi, I'm Michela, and they kind of give you that stare to be like,
do you know
who
what?
are you? Like,
I love people testing me.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah. Because I'm kind of like, let me teach you first, and then if you've got a complaint or if you want to say, by all means, go ahead. But
Do you know
don't
what?
ever judge a book by its cover, because I'm a firm believer of it, even though sometimes I'm sure I probably sometimes do the exact same. But I do sometimes think,
No,
like,
no,
do you know
I'm not talking about people sussing you out. Obviously, you're gonna suss the person out anyway, like from the start, just trying to get a grasp of who that person is.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone does that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about testing. I've literally, this is no joke, I've had students that were like quite older than me. So let's say someone that's, I don't know, 50. There's a big age gap. So they're saying like, oh, a little baby, she's trying to teach me. I've done beauty for, I don't know, 30 years.
Yeah.
You can't teach me nothing. So like during the class, she would ask me a question. And it would be something like, what's the enzyme responsible for melanin production? Fair enough. And I'm like, tyrosinase connects with tyrosine and then produces L-dopa, turns into dopaquinone, and then it turns into melanin. She's like, okay. She's Googling it in front of me, and she's like, so here it actually says dopaquinoine. I'm like, yeah, it's dopaquinone. That's what I said. Okay, you were correct. And I'm like, I know. But they test me with Google in front of me.
But
and I'm like,
sometimes-
do it, go on, do it.
Yeah.
But it's not about, like,
I
even
think it's
sussing
so
you
bad
out.
as well, because I do feel like sometimes as well, the ones that have been out in the industry the most actually have got the worst habits.
Yeah, no, I
Especially
get
when
that.
it comes to
but
like treatments and stuff.
I
It's
find
like,
it, well, not disrespectful, but I'm like, why do you think I would be working here? Why do you think I would be teaching in the first place if I didn't know my stuff?
yeah.
Like, you don't have to Google it,
Yeah.
or at least not in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I still love it because I'm like, here you go. Were you sure about that now? Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
And then we build that trusting bond.
Yeah,
I'm
that
like, but
after
did you really need Google
they end
in
up
the
being
first
like
place?
your best friend at the
Yeah,
end. Like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, she's such
yeah.
a great teacher. I love her so much.
But I feel like it's just because of my age, and I kind of get it. I get it.
Yeah. No, I understand as well, but I used to get that as well with clients where they used to be like, so I want someone with some experience. And I'm like, I've been here for, at that time, I've been here for 12 years, so how much experience do you want someone to have? And they just kind of like shut their mouth. They're like,
Sorry.
they're like, you're like, dust. And I'm kind of like, beautiful, and they're like, no, I'm so sorry. It's just because I look really young, yeah? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. And then afterwards, they're like ranting and raving, sung and praise. I'm just like, yeah, exactly. There's really like no need for it. But then I understand like where some people come from, because some people think, the younger that they look, the least experience that they have, they don't know anything about the industry, they don't know nothing. And I'm like, actually, sometimes it actually works the opposite way round, because you can actually mold them, you can teach them, whereas some people, I think that they know everything, just kind of, I knew that already.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, okay. And then there's some that are just kind of like, oh, no. But like you said, I think it's quite good sometimes, because sometimes you like that challenge a little bit, because it kind of like, it gets your brain working as well sometimes. Whereas there's some people just could be like, yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. Or they put their hands up and I'm like, listen, we're not in school. If you lot need to say something, then just fire away. And they're kind of like, okay. Or you're sitting there just there in the corner. I'm like, put the hand down, just say it. And they're just like, no, just put it down, just put it down, just put it down. But no, I think it's quite fun kind of like seeing the journeys, like you said, from like episode 1 to like now, like the progression and kind of like the whole aesthetics, kind of like where it's gone and why I may not
But
push.
I feel like I do kind of see your point where you've started with the massage and the manicures and the pedicures. So like, that was my beginning, so I want to stick to that. And you've
It's
got
all
that,
I knew, you know, kind of thing, because that's all
Yeah.
it was. It was, you know, whereas like now it's changed a lot. So it's.
But the thing is, I feel like for you don't have that massive passion. Because if I give you an option, okay, go and do like a 15-minute massage, or go and do a 15-minute meso.
But
I don't know,
now,
maybe not.
now
Yeah.
I would definitely pick the meso, I'm not going to lie. Especially with this heat. When someone used to come in for a full body massage in this heat, I used to just want to curl up. Or sometimes I would want to join them on the bed. I used to be like, can we just snuggle up together, please? Because.
All right, but then would you do a facial or meso?
I feel like now, I don't know, I feel like now it would be meso. Because again, you see, for me, I've seen the results. I've seen it. Though I still like the odd, like, Hydraderm facial, you know, kind of thing. But I do sometimes like it. Like, sometimes the odd one-off
that's what I
chance
don't
that she might be
understand.
like, can you put the numbing cream on? And I'd be like, do you just want me to do it? And she's like, yeah, okay, cool. Whereas, like, before, if this was X amount of years ago, I'd be like, no, I'll put the numbing cream on for you, but you take over.
But that's what I don't understand. If you do like meso, and you want to continue doing that, why don't you do other courses with injectables if you enjoy it?
Yeah, I know.
Because it's just like you're stopping halfway and not progressing because you make yourself sick.
I know. I think actually probably the next stage I wouldn't mind maybe learning a little bit more about the skin boosters. And the worst thing is it's on camera now, so I can't even take it back
Watch out.
afterwards.
I'm going to send it to Daksha. The course is next week. See ya.
So I wouldn't mind doing, not teaching it though, don't throw me under the bus there, please.
Oh, no, not teaching.
But the actual treatment, I wouldn't mind. I think, to be fair, I think once Daksha actually did get me to do one of her clients, and actually I really enjoyed it. I think, you know, like sometimes as well I can get a bit carried away as well after a while.
What do you mean?
I can get a bit carried away with the injections, like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, yes, get in there. Your face looks fantastic. Not to look at right now because there's loads of bumps and lumps all over your face, but apart from that, you're going to have fantastic results. But yeah, I think it's just more like, I think the confidence has definitely got better, but I think it's just it's all very well you girls believing in me, but I need it for myself, if that makes sense, you know?
Well, we'll get you there next week.
1 year later.
Camera. No, I'm sorry, it's on camera. It's a little bit too late for that.
Yeah, I know.
Let me just text Daksha, let her know you're attending. No, you can't call in sick, I'm sorry. Okay, I've run out of coffee, so I guess this is over. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And we'll see you